Chapter 43 Our Father. The next morning I got a visit from our Father. Definitely not the one in heaven. How did he know where to find me? I asked Selina Auntie when she told me he was here to see me. And then the answer came to me. My letter. Probably, Selina Auntie said. You don't have to see him unless you want to. I'll see him, I said. Do you want me or someone else to stay with you? I'm not scared. If I didn't meet him face to face, I'd be afraid he'd try to track me down some other way when I wasn't in such a safe place. I'll meet him on my own. As you wish. Selina Auntie motioned at the room where he was waiting. We won't let him take you away by force. But, of course, if you decide you want to leave, that's up to you. Head high, neck maybe a little too stiff, I strode in like a princess. What do you want? I said to Appa. He held out a package, a gift, like he thought it was enough to win me over. I looked at the dark hair sprouting in bushes along his fingers. I could feel his hand coming down across my cheek, whip fast, leather tough. I don't want it, I said. I don't want anything from you. His eyes glittered with anger. You're my daughter, he said. Mine. I can take the two of you home whenever I want, whether you want to or not. You can't, I said. Not the two of us. Ruku's dead. What? He stared and then whispered. You're lying. No, I said. I wouldn't lie about something like that. A strange sound came from him, a kind of growl that was anger and pain mixed up. His hand actually trembled. He let the package flop onto Selina Auntie's desk. Maybe all that Selina Auntie and Arul had said about God and Yesu had made some kind of difference, because all of a sudden I felt sorry for him. The way he stooped, his arms hanging limp. On the street, I've seen dogs fighting, snarling, ripping at one another, until one gave up and tucked its tail between its legs in surrender. That was what Appa reminded me of, with his head hanging and his chin almost touching his chest. Seeing him stand that way, I knew I was larger than he would ever be. For his pitiful sake, I ripped open the package he'd brought. Inside there were two things, a hand-carved wooden pendant and a hand-carved doll, just like Maripachi. You made Ruku a new doll? I couldn't believe it. But there she was, in my hands, Maripachi's twin. He must have made the old one too, I realized. Yes, I made it for her. He knelt and put his hands together. Come home. Please, give me another chance. I'll never, never, never hurt you again. He shook with sobs, and I put a hand on his shoulder. Rivers of tears coursed down, crooked, across his cheeks, his stubble covering his chin. A flash flood of forgiveness rose in my chest. It was a strange kind of forgiveness, mixed with desperate pity and hope. A flood that threatened to drown me if I didn't fight it. At last, I understood how Amma felt, why she gave in every time he said that he was sorry. Understood her eagerness to piece together her shattered image of him. Her need to keep hoping things would get better somehow. She must have felt just as sorry for him as I felt when I saw him kneeling to the ground. Because at that moment, he truly meant it. He really wanted to be a better man. I almost did what Amma would have done. I almost gave up the freedom and the future I could have. That's when I heard your voice, Ruku. No, you say. Stay, Viji. Your voice was like the beam of a lighthouse, cutting right through my fog of pity. No. My voice was calm. My whole body was calm. This is home now. Don't be angry. I'll give you anything. Anything. My future is here, Appa. His knuckles clenched and then unclenched. Tell Amma I love her. And don't ever, ever lay a finger on her again. Yes, he bowed his head. and I'll come again to visit you." "Bring her," I said. "Bring her to visit me." "I promise," he said. For the first time in what felt like forever, the touch of his rough hand was gentle on my chin. He held it, held my gaze. Then he let go and walked out the door. His steps measured, his footfall softened. I hope he'll keep his promise, but even if he doesn't, his visit left me feeling better. He took away some of my anger, I think, anger that had been pressing down on my chest. Now that I had let my anger go, it felt like my heart had more room. After Appa left, I marched up to Selena Auntie, who was waving anxiously to hear how it had all gone. "You know that boarding school for girls? The one you wanted to send me to?" I said. "I'll go." "Yes!" She slammed a fist into her palm. "That's wonderful. You'll be so happy there. I'm so proud of you." Then just the two of us sat there and smiled at each other. At dinner, I told Arul and Muthu about Appa's visit and how much better I'd behaved than I ever thought I could. "There's hope for you yet," Arul said. "Yesu is getting through." "No," I said. It was Ruku's voice I heard in my head, not Yesu's. "Not in your head," Arul said. "You heard her voice in your heart." Waiting for him to lecture me about you being in heaven, I chewed a mouthful of rice. But Arul only said, "If you really think the only place Ruku's still alive is inside of you, you know what you need to do, right?" "What?" "You've got to start loving yourself like you loved her, like you were able to allow yourself to even love your dad." "Not sure if that was love exactly," I said. "Anyway, there's something else I need to tell you too." "What?" Muthu said. "I'm going to that other school Selena Auntie talked about." Muthu stuck his tongue out to me, but Arul whooped. "Yes," Arul said. "You're going to do so much with your life." "What if I'm not good enough?" I voiced my fear. "Then you can come back here," Muthu said. "I hope you're not good enough." "Don't be silly," Arul said. "She'll become a teacher like she wanted, and she'll build a school for kids like us." "Who will you name your school after?" Muthu asked me, as if I were building one already. "You should name it after our father," Arul said. "Remember, our father, O.R.T. Narayan? Hallowed be his name." I was so amazed to hear him joking about God that I said, totally serious, "I'll name it after you, Arul. Ruku and Muthu and you." "After me?" Muthu grinned. "Then I guess I'd better start paying attention to my lessons."